What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to Adobe Live. Yet again, we just came through an amazing segment just previously with some amazing Illustrator fabulousness. With that said, guys, I'm your host today for Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge and really the next 2 weeks. First off, I want to say hi to you guys. It's been quite a while and a late happy new year to all of you guys. We have Dimma in the chat, Meziu. Wow, it's been... Guys, I'm truly touched. We have Sam in the chat, long time no see. Since today is the welcome day of our Daily Creative Challenge, we have a few things to dive into. We might have some veterans in the chat as well as some newcomers. So we have really the challenge of diving into how the challenge works, what we're going to be doing over the next 2 weeks, and giving you guys a little bit of a glimpse into what we have for you guys. So with that said, I want to say hi to all of you. I have a new mic, new me, so let me know if this is burning your ears or not. I did some tests prior, but just want to check with you guys. With that said, let's dive into what we have for today. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, let us know where you're coming in from in the chat. It's been such a long time. There might be some new faces, new names. Would love to meet you guys. All right, so first off, let's talk about what is the Daily Creative Challenge for those who are new, for our non-veterans, okay? These next 2 weeks are all about improving the skills within Adobe XD, joining an amazing community of creatives and like-minded designers in our Discord, and just doing some amazing work. As you guys can see here, the challenge starts today, the 31st, and goes all the way to February the 25th. How this works is, first off, the blue button does not lie if you guys want to join the amazing community of literally thousands of amazing designers who challenge themselves week to week, creating new things and also give feedback. Click that blue button, join the community, and let the games and the fun and the creativeness begin. But let's talk a little bit about the challenge. So what happens I said the next 2 weeks, but guys, obviously my math is off. Go by those numbers, okay? January 31st to the 25th. So how this works, it's a 4-step process. Each day you'll receive a challenge. Joining the community is really the next step. If you either click this button, which we'll dive into that later, it takes you to the Discord channel. We'll show you guys what's in there, how to navigate through it. There's a lot of sections, but for those of you guys who are new, we got you today. The community, you will be able to stay informed and connect with other like-minded individuals, like I said. And most importantly, you guys will be able to show up here live with me to learn some new amazing things in Adobe XD to create some fire projects these next couple days. And finally, you'll be able to share your work, get feedback from mentors and other creatives within our Discord. So that's a super plus. And by the way, again, all of the challenges are locked, for suspense reasons. But I'm going to show you guys a little bit of today so you guys have at least an idea of what we're going to be doing today. And if there's certain projects you guys want to show up for, you guys can. But highly recommend, we have some spiciness for these projects, so I highly recommend you show up for all of them. And all the way at the end, just make sure, again, there's 2 calls to action. Join the Discord and make sure you're registered for all future challenges. And most importantly, for those of you guys who are new to the challenge or XD, would love to know in the chat. Put 2 in the chat if you guys are brand spanking new to XD. You guys are like, what is that? XD, as in like an emoji for like, heh, or a laugh. If you're kind of in that position, like, what is XD? Please put it in the chat so I can give some context to what it is the software is, what it's good for. We're going to talk about that a little bit more today, but would love to know who's in the chat so I can, give some more information on and give some clarity. So if you guys are brand new and you want to join in with us, definitely want to get XD. It's 100% free. And again, just another call to action, chat with the community. And let's say you've done all this amazing stuff and you're like, well, I want some more challenges. Every single past project has been documented. Literally, like, this is infinite scrolling here. These are projects from the past, just in case if you wanted to grow your skill set even more. Every creative challenge is at the bottom of this page. And by the way, if you guys are like, Brandon, all right, great. We understand that there's a page that is in existence. How do I get this? Sam, I believe in the chat, has already dropped in the chat the link for the Discord, and if he hasn't already, which I'm sure he is because he always beats me to it, a link to behance.net/challenge/XD. And if you guys want to beat us to it, links down in the description, whether you're watching this on YouTube or Behance. For those of you guys who are on YouTube, come scurry along to the family that is Behance, because that's where we're chatting. And if you guys have questions on XD, what we're doing this week, I can't see them unless they're on Behance, so definitely join us there. Christelle says, I'm totally new to XD. Gon says, I'm new to XD. All right, so we got some newcomers. All right. Just trying to read through the chat. You guys are very excited. That the segment before really, I was watching in absolute awe. I'm excited for, that to be on again tomorrow. But it's good to see that we have some newcomers here. All right. So with that said, in general, because this is stuff we need to know, for every project that we are going to be, and again, we'll talk about this literally for every day, just so you guys don't forget. For those of you veterans, again, since you guys are more familiar with this process, make sure every time you guys create a project or you finish one of the daily creative challenges and you're putting it up on Behance, do make sure to add a tag XD Creative Challenge to all your pieces of work. Again, I'm going to be reminding you every single day of this challenge, just so you guys, we want to see your work, okay? So don't forget that. All right, up next, let's talk a little bit about, I want to give you guys some eye candy because I've been running my mouth. I want to show you guys some of the things that we're going to be doing. Then we will dive into XD as the software, what it is, how it's useful, and we'll dive and take a look a little bit at the software from a beginner's frame of mind, how to use it, and just go through all the basics and fundamentals of it. Sound good? Bueno. Okay. All right. So let me see. All right. So this is, I may or may not be supposed to be doing this because I love you guys and I want to show you guys a little bit of kind of some of the things that we're going to be doing throughout the day. Just a little bit of a taste. We're not going to go too deep, but just a little bit of, we're going to be creating some mobile apps these next couple days, some very interesting prototypes, interactions. So if you guys, and I know I'm going through them very quickly, and the reason is because I'm just trying to show the interactions. These are the things that we're going to learn how to make, how to create some of these assets, some of these interactions. So I'm not going to show you everything. All right, that's it. That's all you get. But, last time I just got to show this, the running sushi is my favorite. So we're going to learn how to make some of these things in the next couple of days. If some of them make your eyes glimmer, definitely want to show up for these in the next couple of days. So if you guys haven't already been able to tell, the new peeps, Adobe XD is used for a couple things. It can be used to make and design functionality for mobile apps, websites, and even some social media assets as well. But with that said, let's actually figure out how to, if you're brand new, how to open up our XD for the first time, how to download it, things of that nature. All right, so I have just opened up our Creative Cloud desktop, and I have all of my installed products or my software here. If you guys see XD, I have opened, but if you haven't already, you definitely want to download it. That's how you'll be able to join us in these next couple challenges. But once you've downloaded it, and I think you can below, available with your plan. If you guys haven't already downloaded Adobe XD from the challenge page where it says it's for free, you can also, if you already have a Creative Cloud subscription, you guys can just go to apps, all apps, download it from this screen. And once you've downloaded it, you can open it. And I already have it opened. So when you actually open it for the first time, you won't see all this. What you'll see is this. And what you'll have is you'll have this little panel here where you'll be faced with an iPhone or things that look like iPhone and tablets. You'll be faced with a web size or a web page with a size. Like I said, social assets, you'll be faced with Instagram stories, and you can also create custom sizing. If you guys are familiar with Photoshop, Illustrator, all those things, this is where you're creating your file. And for this instance, since we're going to be focusing on mobile apps, we're actually going to click this. But more importantly, if you guys are brand new, something that I think is highly beneficial since we're here to learn, there's this Learn tab here. And this brings you to literally a whole bunch of different resources in regards to how to design, how to prototype, components. And once upon a time, it used to be in the software, but there's a whole bunch of resources here from tutorials, people like myself, Howard Pinsky, and really just how to get started in the software content-wise. So highly recommend you guys take a peek at that, because it looks like we have definitely increased the amount of educational content that you guys can take advantage of. All right, now with my mouth drying out and realizing I haven't had enough water to prepare for this live stream, noted for tomorrow. But other than that, let's actually open up a project here. So I'm going to open up a blank piece here, and while I've done that, I'm actually going to take a look at chat. I got like new screen, so looking at chat is a little bit difficult, because now I'm like, I have to like head whip. We're definitely going to change this tomorrow. But yes, I see Mezu. Yes, we have some Lotties happening this week. Sam is correcting. Yes, correct. XD is for designing and prototyping apps, websites, not for actually building them out with code. Beautiful, Sam. Correction right there. All right, just checking to see what you guys are saying out here. Frank is new to XD. All right, so I'm glad to see some new XD peeps in our crowd today. All right, so what we're going to do is, since we do have our new beloved folks, we're going to do a very clean sweep of what is in XD. We're going to go over what some of these tabs are, what our basic tools are, some other, basically what all the icons mean, and how to basically, as a child trying to learn how to walk, that is our main focus for today. And after that, then we're gonna go through some of we might have a little bit of a basic project we might try to do, and gear you up for what we have in store for the next couple days. All right, so what we have here is we have a couple of, well, actually I'm gonna explain this last. Let's talk about the left-hand side panel. These are all our tools. If you guys are familiar with literally any other Adobe product, this is everything that we need to know in regards to functionality for our tools, whether it be creating boxes, whether it be creating circles, triangles. What I love about XD is it keeps it simple. And on top of the simplicity, we're able to create more and more complex things. We're not gonna spend our day doing that today. We are just going to show you guys the simplicity, and we're gonna get more complex throughout the days. So it's pretty simple. We have our rectangle tool, our ellipse tool, our triangle tool, or as it says, a polygon, but that's too big of a word. It's too fancy for me, so we're gonna say triangle. We have our line tool. Everything here is pretty standard, guys. If you have open Photoshop, you know what's in here. We have our standard pen tool, operates pretty much the same way. We have our text tool. Pretty easy stuff. And we have our two other tools. We have, of course, our zoom tool, but I just use my scroll wheel. I just hold Alt and I scroll in and out with my my mouse wheel. And we have our artboard tool. So what I actually like about this is Adobe loves making it just like so much easier for all of us to just operate and get into creating. So with our artboard tool, if you just press A on your keyboard, we have all on the right side navigation here is we have a whole bunch of presets, I would say. We have different mobile presets, we have tablet presets, we have web and desktop presets, social media, and even things for example, creating watch user interfaces. So with that said, I'm just going to demonstrate kind of how this works. So I'm going to just click a couple of these. And as you can see, the artboard or the template just populates with the correct standard or market standard height and width of what it is we're trying to design on. So I'm going to create a tablet. Since we already have the mobile, I'm going to create a tablet size. I'm going to create a desktop size, and I'm going to create a watch interface here, just like that. And so literally all I'm doing is just pressing A. We have our templates, and I'm clicking which ones I want to use for the projects that I want to make. And because we're actually using mobile this week, we're pretty much going to just stick around with the iPhone 13, 12 Pro and around that area. Checking chat, guys. Just want to make sure, because now my head has to do a full swipe. Make sure you guys, in case you have any questions, I want to make sure I got them. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, since there are some newcomers, if you have any questions on what it is that we're going to be doing this week, if maybe you came in a little bit late and you want me to reiterate on something, please let me know. That's what this is for. This is live stream. Obviously, we have some things to go over, but I also want to make sure that everybody is on the same page of what's going to be happening the next couple of days / weeks. And with that said, I think I actually missed something. So now that we've kind of talked a little bit about the tools here, I do want to talk a little bit about our Discord. I know I mentioned it, but I don't think we dived into it. And I apologize tremendously. So if you guys have already joined in our Discord, like we talked about in the very beginning, there's a lot here. And I apologize that this is towards like the end of our section, but you know, if you guys joined and there was just like, all right, Brandon, there is like 21,000,005 different things to join. What's happening here? Specifically, what we're going to be focused on in the next couple of weeks and how you guys are going to send in your challenges is under the feedback tab and under challenges. I totally apologize. Thankfully, my brain kind of was like, Brandon, you forgot something. We're here now. So once you guys have created, you know, you are sharing your project and you want to share us a link of what it is that your prototype looks like, and we'll be talking about how to do that during each challenge. Whether you've submitted it on Behance or you're sharing us a XD prototype link, you'll just submit it here in the challenges section within feedback. And during each challenge or during each 30-minute segment that we have in the next couple of weeks, after each challenge, I'm going to be checking out what you guys have submitted and just, give you guys your flowers for some of the amazing work that you've done. And also, there's design feedback, portfolio reviews. You're free to look at past challenges, and there's a plethora of other things that you guys can explore here, from advice that our beautiful mentors can come in and give you there. We have our regular chat, introductions, regular chat, times we go live, and other things. So definitely, I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of an intro on that before I forgot, and wanted to give you guys a little, continue on in the intro of XD. So thank you guys for your patience. And thank you, Sam, for another slap with the Discord link. Appreciate you, man. All right, so let's continue on in our exploration of XD. Let us talk about our right-hand side navigation. Again, I think this is pretty standard with Photoshop in regards to all of the things that have to do with the thing that you've clicked on. It's basically the attributes of the thing you selected. So let's say we make a square here and we've made it red, just so we can visually see what's happening. So I have this square selected, and essentially I have all these settings regarding this asset or this element that I've clicked. We have its width, where I can very easily edit it here, or I can edit it here, and you guys can see this number change. We have the height. I can change it here by clicking and dragging, or I can drag it here. We have the position, so if I am moving this, you guys can see these X and Y valuations change. We have our rotation. And these we won't necessarily go too into, but this is if we wanted to flip our, our element or whatever we have selected. If we want to flip it horizontally, whether we want to flip it vertically. We also have some of we will talk about these later. We'll talk about them a little bit later in the week when we have to use them. I don't want to give you guys a full brain dump today. We'll do things slowly, one thing at a time. We also have our opacity, which is pretty straightforward. Whether we want to see the full element or we want to see 0%. And some of these things like responsive resize, we will dive into them in particular context. I'm just trying to give you guys the fundamentals for today so you guys are on par and ready to rock 'em sock 'em when we get into our projects starting tomorrow. We have our blend modes. We might get into some of this, but it's, this is if you want to start making some things complex. I very rarely use it, but I have seen Sir Howard Pinsky and some other people do some amazing things with blend modes. But projects that we have this week, not necessarily going to be utilizing those. We have our radius little tool, or our border control. I guess it's radius. I don't know the technical term, guys. Essentially, this allows you to control whether or not the corners of said square should be round or should be sharp. So I am able to turn this from a full square to circle. And if you guys have the correct technical terminology, please put it in the chat. Yes, Ruth, rock 'em and sock 'em. All right. And we can also, if I make this a full regular square, I'm going to just turn this down to 0. I can control each individual corner by clicking this here, and it even has a little bit of a tooltip for us, different radiuses for each corner. There it is, radiuses, radius control. And of course, we have our color editing, pretty standard. We have our borders. We have our border. I'm just gonna make this black really quick so you guys can see this. Whether or not we want our stroke or our border to be inside, outside, both inside and outside of our object, is pretty straightforward. We can add dashes, we can add to our border, we can add gaps to our border. Pretty simple stuff, guys. And we also have, for example, we have our inner shadows, we have our drop shadows, and we'll go into this more detail when it comes to specific projects. We'll go, and you guys will see how it works. I just want you guys to know, hey, here's everything you need to understand where it's at. So when we get into our projects, you guys are like, oh, great. I see Brandon doing it at this moment, and I remember we talked about it on Monday. And so, this is just for your own knowledge. If you guys want to dive into XD by yourself, get a little bit comfortable with it before we get started tomorrow. And yeah. And now that we have like 2-ish minutes, I do want to do a couple of things. I want to talk about what these particular items are, and then I want you guys to download. You don't have to, but it will help tremendously with some of the projects that we have in the next couple of weeks and save you a lot of time if you download these plugins. So these 3 icons right here, we have our libraries, which will store some of the things, or it will store things that we want to save, whether that be colors, certain font styles, certain components. So for example, if we wanted to save this as a component that we never really had to remake, I'm going to either click this button over here where it says component, or I can hit Control or Command K, and we have our component here. If I wanted to save the color of its border and the color of the fill, I can go to Add Color to Assets, and voila! We have within our color palette, we have our black and we have our purple. And this happens as well if we have a particular font size and font type. If we wanted to add character style to assets, it populates here as well. And last thing, guys, we have our layers. Pretty self-explanatory. This is where everything, if it is on our artboard, populates. We have our component and we have our text. And of course we have our plugins. And guys, we're running a little, we've got about like 2-ish minutes. I highly recommend you guys download everything that we have here, like screenshot it or come back to the video and download all of these things because they'll be very useful in what we're going to be creating this week, and it will save your life not only during these challenges, but in the future if you guys are brand new designers or if you're an amazing designer and you don't have them. So with that said, we got about 2 minutes left. I can talk a little bit about them. Icons for design helps you populate icons without having to leave XD. Lorem ipsum, very simply, you can drag a box and enter in text. Lottie is amazing video files that you can get without having to leave XD. Pixels, same thing as Lottie, but for photos. And user profiles is automatic user profiles without having to leave XD. Again, we'll go into this more detail for our particular projects. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. I want to thank you guys, Laura, Ruth, hey, what's going on, Igor, Sam, Mezayu. It's been amazing. We're gonna have a good next couple of days together, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm looking forward to doing some cool things. Do not forget to subscribe, like this video, and I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, and make sure to bring some water and a very quick right click and left click finger. With that said, enjoy your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one. Peace.